Welcome to Blessed Mess. I'm a part-time eBay reseller, and I've had really good response over the last few months about starting my YouTube channel. And what really helps me and motivates me to make more videos is seeing folks liking that. So if you like eBay reselling, you'll like my channel. I try to give you as much information as I can. And right now I just have 21 subscribers, and I'd love to have more subscribers and be able to be interactive with folks. And I really appreciate everybody that subscribes to me now, and I've had really good response. Most of my videos are about eBay, and this video is about the month of May and what I've sold. The very first item is something called The Collected Poems of Freddie the Pig. It's from 2001. It's a first edition. It's a poetry book. It sold for $27. I bought it for $1. I bought it from this old thrift store that you would never think anything of value was in it, but they have. It's a gold mine. It's in the middle of nowhere, Kentucky. And then the next item I sold was these Siskiyou Baltimore Ravens key fob keychains. They're like pewter and enamel. This one's from 1996. I sold it for $10. I want to say I got about 22 of these for $10 total. And then I got another 40 or 50 pins, like hat pins, for another $12. So it was like $22. I can't remember which one was which, but I think I got these for 10 and the other for 12. Bought all of them. So, you sell one of these and you've made your money back, and then the rest of it's just gravy money. The next thing I sold is something called All My Crazy Friends 2. It's a extreme sports video. Sold it for $13.50. I sold another Siskiyou New England Patriots key fob. This is from the early 90s. I think this is from 91, and I sold it for $8.50. Sold some Ed Hardy jeans. They had like skulls and flowers and stuff on the pockets, and sold them for $39. Sold an Introduction to Keyboards for Beginners DVD, $7. Sold a DVD that's about Bassmaster University Ultimate Tips and Techniques. This is about presentations, how to present to the fish, I guess, like casting. I have no idea. $8.99. I got it for free shipping. So far, all these things I've either picked up for $1 or they came in a big lot. Now those Ed Hardy jeans were $5, but sold them for $39. I'll do that every single day, all day long. Super Mario Adventures comic book, I sold it for $10. Picked it up for $1. It was brand new. It was from like 2015 or something. It was at a thrift store just sitting on the shelf. I knew it was worth something. I didn't know whenever I got it home. Now, if that Super Mario Adventures comic book would have been like the original one, the first printing, I think this is like the 6th printing, so it was like $10. But if it had been a first print, it would probably have been about $30. But I didn't know anything about Nintendo books, so I just picked it up because I knew enough that Mario was hot and I could sell that. I sold 3 vintage horror movies, VHS. They're like, from the 50s and 60s horror movies. I sold them for $15. Free ship. I think it costs like $2.89 to ship it or something like that. Sold a Boolaroo Australian t-shirt, vintage t-shirt, $16. Sold another key fob keychain from 1991. This is Buffalo Bills, $7.50. I kind of just take offers. As someone, I have to ship these, so they're all free ship. So it depends on where they are. If I'm willing to take a lower price. If they're close to me and it's lower to ship it, then I'll ship it for cheaper. But if they're in California or Seattle, Washington, or really far away, and it's going to cost me $4 to ship something that's worth $10, I'm not making but like $6 on it. I got to be real careful. People offer you $5 or something, and it costs $4.89 to ship it. So, I sold a Ohio State Buckeyes vintage ceramic piggy bank. I found this at a Goodwill. I think I got it for $4 and sold it for $32. It was vintage. It had like the felt little feet on it, and green felt, and had a cork that was in the bottom for the piggy bank. So it was vintage. And the Ohio State thing was not like a sticker. I think it was painted or somehow done. It wasn't a sticker. I sold a DVD called Industrial Strength. It's the Great Outdoors TGO. This one had Ricky Carmichael in it. $8. And then that same person bought something called, I've clicked on it, something Supercross Motocross Rainmaker. It was another Ricky Carmichael. He bought that, so I just combined them and shipped them out free for them. Free ship. I sold a New Testament Bible that was from 1944. It's really interesting. Somebody wanted this like right now. Like they wanted it next day shipped. This Bible was from 1944. It was not in the greatest of shape or anything. It was old, but it had writing in it and it said like 1944 in it, like someone had dedicated it in 1944. So it was obviously like a World War II type Bible. But it was old. It was not falling apart, but it was fragile. And either somebody was getting married or they needed it like the next morning. So I shipped it out. I mean, it cost $8 it cost them $8, but it cost them $26 to ship it. So they really wanted it. And I talked to them and said, hey, like I'll ship it to you as fast as I can. You got to buy it now so I can go to the post office and get it to you because there's no way otherwise. Sold a Dooney and Burke leather purse. This was my wife's old purse and she just wanted to sell it. She sold it for $30. My wife has great taste in purses, so if she wants to sell it, and she takes care of everything, like her purses are like, she sits it in the chair when we go to the restaurant. She's one of those people, and so I love Laura for that. Like she takes care of everything, and so she takes care of all of her purses. So whenever she's like, "Oh, I'm done with this purse. I don't want to use it anymore," we sell it on eBay, and we usually get $30 to $50 for purses that she gets. I think she's carrying a Coach purse right now, so she likes to have a nice purse all the time. I'm gonna say that, and she's gonna say, "I don't carry a Coach purse. Are you crazy?" But it's something like that. You can see how much I'm invested in knowing what purse she's carrying. I sold a Kentucky Derby cap. It was still brand new. It had like the hologram stickers on it and everything. This is from a few years ago. I think it was from like 2016, something like that. So got good feedback on it. Sold it for $11. Another Major League Baseball pewter enamel key fob. Milwaukee Brewers, sold it for $8. Sold another key fob, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with the old, Buccaneer looking dude on the side for $10. What's funny is I got all of those, listed them all. Guess which one sold first? Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay sold first. And, it's just funny how that is. Like, they're the champs. Oh, they're hot. It sold. So I did that. I also sold an old unbranded trucker hat. It was black and gold for $10. The buyer paid shipping. I'm starting to get back into April now, so this is like April 30th. April 30th also sold and I got that hat in a bunch of hats at a yard sale, and if I gave $5 for 15 of them, I mean, that's probably what I did. I probably just gathered up a whole entire box and said, I'll give you $5. And he was like, okay. So, and and I remember at that particular yard sale, there were some really good hats in there. And I had lots of good vintage hats this is kind of maybe one of the last ones left out of that 15 lot, because I had like some old beer hats and racing and some other stuff in there. So yeah, that really paid off. Yard sales are the way to go. That's where you can find the deals, and you make money when you buy your items, not when you sell them, really. In the Company of Heroes True Story book, it's just an audio book. I sold it for $10, free shipping. It shipped for $2.89, so I made a few dollars on that. I think I picked it up for 50 cents or a quarter at Vendors Mall. Sold some Justin Gypsy cowboy boots. They're like teal and black. They're women's. Sold them for $48. Something that we bought for one of our kids, and they never wore them, and so they were never used, and we shipped those out. Something that I found at a Goodwill, this Powerbook G4 battery. It was like an Apple battery. Sold that. It's from like 1999, and it was still in the packaging, still sealed, everything. Looked brand new. Still had the foam, had the original Apple Powerbook stuff. $45, and I bought that for $6. And the buyer paid shipping on that too. I bought this vintage Lifetime 1-quart saucepan with a lid, and on the side of the pan it says Lifetime, and it's real big. It says Lifetime, and it will say like T304cc stainless steel cookware, so it will tell you that it's like 30.4 cc, 304 cc's or 30.4 ounces, I guess. I don't know, I'm losing track of what I'm trying to say. Milliliters and so it's a quart pan or a liter pan, really. And it sold for $25, and they paid the shipping. I got that I bought like probably 10 items at a thrift store that's like a local little thrift store. I bought a lamp, I bought bed sheets, I bought crockery. And it was like large items. Like I had to put them all in a big box. So it was like 8 to 10 things. And she was like $8.50, and I'm like, here's a $10 bill. Like I knew that this saucepan was gonna pay for everything easily. So as soon as I saw that Lifetime pan, I brought it home, and my wife cleaned the bottom of it. She's got this stuff she cleans it with, and it came right out, and she worked on it, and it looked really good. She took the pictures of it, and it sold like within a day or two of us listing it. Had a lot of watchers though. Like that Lifetime pan had a lot of watchers, and then it sold. World of Matisse book, $13. We also had this vintage Wagner Ware Magnalite 5-quart aluminum Dutch oven. So this Dutch oven we got for $10 at a thrift store in Knoxville, and my wife did her cleaning on it. She cleaned it. It was really nasty on the bottom, and she cleaned it, sold it for $50. So kudos to Laura for doing that. Got this vintage 80s Asia, the band Asia. I mean, you'd have to be in your 50s to know who Asia is, unless you go on YouTube and look up Asia with a Z. But it's carnival. It's a carnival prize. Like when back in the 80s, you would like do the ring toss and do that kind of thing. And when you did the ring toss, you would win, right? So you would win the stretched out Pepsi bottle or a 12-inch square piece of glass that was a mirror, and it had bands on it, AC/DC or Asia or whatever. Def Leppard. I think those are the most popular ones, like those rock bands. But Asia was one of them because they always had dragons on them, so kind of cool. Now, what's funny is this thing was in the original Carnival glass case. I remember them from the 80s, like up there, going to the county fair and trying to win something. And it was in that same thing, so somebody had just got that, never put it up, and just like stored it somewhere. It sold for $36. $36. Now let's just wrap your mind around that I sold something that somebody probably just wanted to throw away to Goodwill, and they did. They gave it to Goodwill, and I bought it for $2 and sold it for $36. And my wife thought it was kind of crazy. Like, you're going to really buy that? I was like, it's going to sell, and it did. And the buyer paid the shipping, and it was $36, so they paid about $45, and they got a cool looking mirror. I mean, it's in perfect shape. Anyway, I also sold this wooden ice bucket. It was Digsmed. I think it's from like Holland or something. Sold it for $30. I had it listed for a crazy price, and I just kept on coming down until I got to $30, and somebody bought it. And then they paid shipping. It's like $14 to ship it. I mean, it was heavy, so it was really cool. I sold this VHS called Mr. Freedom. It's a very rare foreign film. It's kind of I don't even know how to explain it. I watched about 5 minutes of it, and it's all over the place. So it's kind of like a Fellini film in a way. It's odd, strange things are going on. I think it's kind of a rip-off of a Federico Fellini film. So, but it sold for $18.50, and they paid the shipping. And I got that for like a quarter or 50 cents. I saw it. It was so weird. I was like, someone's going to buy this. The next thing also sold that is weird. It's Chimes at Midnight. It's a movie by Orson Welles. It's I think it's got in some parts or subtitles, and but it's like it's a Shakespearean spinoff. I think it's about Falstaff, if you know about Shakespeare. Sold it for $11. Sold a University of Tennessee Vols t-shirt for $6.50. Sold some wooden shoe stretchers from Rochester Shoe Company, Shoe Tree Company. Rochester Shoe Tree Company is really famous shoe stretchers. So if you're ever in a store and you start looking for, and you see shoe stretchers, and you turn them over and they say Rochester Shoe Company or Rochester Shoe Tree, buy them. These sold for $28. I got them I probably paid $4 for the pair. So I think they were $2 a piece or something. And I'm like, who's splitting up shoe trees? So anyway, I bought those two together. But they're red cedar. They were very well made. You pop them in your shoe, and they kind of stretch the shoe where they don't. If you have a leather shoe, you need to keep it stretched out. Awesome find that I found, and I find those Rochester Shoe Company ones periodically. You don't find them very often, but if they look like red cedar and they look like a high quality item, they're probably them. The next thing I sold that for $28, and man, what a deal! And they're all sized. So those Rochester Shoe Company ones are all sized. So it'll say like 7B to 7D or 7B to 8B. It'll like be size 7 shoes, But they stretch out to like size 10. So I don't know. I also sold a Ronald Reagan era gift from Camp David. Camp David is like the presidential retreat. And that presidential retreat is really famous. They don't sell souvenirs. So somebody went there and this is what I'm assuming. I'm in Kentucky, so there's a really long time congressman here, Hal Rogers. I'm sure he went to Camp David at some point, and he had an entourage of people, and they all got mugs and pewter mugs or a plate that say Camp David on them. Camp David doesn't sell souvenir. So I know it wasn't somebody just bought something from Camp David or they put something on there. It has a presidential seal on it. So I know that somebody was associated with a Republican at some point a long time ago to get it. So it could have been Bush, but I'm assuming this is a Reagan era thing, just given what it looks like. Because at some point in the 90s they changed the design, and then Obama changed. They didn't get plates anymore or mugs. They got like these coins instead. So they didn't get these like ceremonial plates. But anyway, this plate was $39. We got it for like $4 at a flea market. That and I think we got both the pewter mug and the platter for like $10 together. And we sold the pewter mug a while back. It might be coming up, I don't know. We sold it a while back, and this one sold for $40. So, and then they paid the shipping. But yeah, it looked really good, and I got a good positive feedback on it. I also sold an Air Force Flyers jacket for $45. This is the kind of Flyers jacket that I wore whenever I was in the Air Force. I mean, it was the exact same size that I wore. It was kind of weird that seeing the patches where they were, because they were the same exact spots where I would have had my patch. So it was really weird seeing it at a Goodwill in the middle of Kentucky somewhere, and I saw it and I was like, I'm getting that. And I think I got it for half off, because I think it was supposed to be $6.39 and I got it for like $3 something. And so loved that jacket. I was really kind of sentimental about keeping it. It still fit me, but back in the day I was a lot smaller than I am now. But the jacket still kind of fit me and everything. I thought, oh, this is kind of cool. But I remember back in the day it was roomy. Now it's not roomy. But anyway, yeah, that was kind of cool to find that. And it had all the patches taken off. And it was still in good shape. Didn't have any like big holes or anything in it. So that was $45. I really appreciate the person that they said that it was exactly what they wanted, and that made me feel really good that somebody got something they really liked, something I enjoyed too. So the next item I sold was this rare limited edition Radco Christmas ornament, which is Sir Elton John, and I sold it for $105. And this was at this out of the way thrift store where the lady, she stocks the thrift store from, it's like her business. It's not like it's some, donation place. This is like her business. And she's been running it for like 50 years. And she just gets, she does auctions out of New York City. And she has the most random stuff. This was one of the things. It was still in the box. It still had its tags. It had never been taken out. It was in Christmas stuff. So I was looking, and I'll be honest with you, I went to this one place and I thought this place is a dud. I mean, there's nothing here. And I realized, like, my wife found one thing. She found those Ed Hardy jeans and said, oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I found some stuff. And I'm like, how did you find anything? I went through the whole store about 45 minutes and I couldn't find anything I wanted. And then I was like, well, I'm not going to give up on it. I'll just come back here and I'll just, help my wife look through stuff. So we started looking through stuff, and this was one of the things that we found. And it was right on top. And I was like, that's Elton John. That's weird. Why is that here? Like, this is literally in the woods. I mean, there's no reason why this item was there. So that was God working in some ways. I just said, oh, that's going to be, there's no cell service in there. So I was like, that's going to be good. And I think I got it for $5. I mean, I think she gave it to me for $5. She's like, what's in there? I was like, Christmas ornament. She's like, oh, okay. And then we also, at that same stop, and it's not, we haven't sold it yet, we got humble figurines that were Mary, Joseph, and Jesus, that were humble figurines from 1951. Like, pristine, not broken, not chipped, nothing wrong with them, just sitting on the shelf with a bunch of Christmas stuff that's kind of just junk, like from Walmart, like junk. And then it's Hummel figurines and Sir Elton John. The Hummel figurines, I think we have listed for like $300 or something. So, I mean, it made my day seeing that. I was like, why is this here? And we sold it. We went there on a Saturday and we sold it on a Saturday. We sold the same. No, I sold it on Sunday morning. Woke up on Sunday morning getting ready for church and saw that somebody wanted it for $105, and I was like, yep. Just could not believe it. I think I had it listed for like $140, and someone said $105. I was like, yes. Anyway, they got a great deal. I mean, the thing's worth like $200, and I sold it for $105. So they got a great deal, and if they're a collector, they love it. Awesome. And I just did it free shipping because it costs like $7 to ship it anyway. So anyway, what a great find. I've like pontificated about it long enough, I guess. The next thing, and I'm getting back down to April the 17th. I'm trying to go back to where I ended up my last video. Chicago Cubs Pewter keychain, $8.50. I found a Slipknot. The bassist his name was Paul Gray. He passed away, and this t-shirt sold for $30. Got a great positive feedback. I'm glad they loved the shirt. I found it at Goodwill. I mean, I knew who it was. I typically know a lot of music, so whenever I saw that, I was like, oh, that's the guy that was in Slipknot. And I just picked it up, and I was like, this memorial shirt, it's got to be worth something. I just slung it over my shoulder and kept on looking for stuff. And the next thing I found in that same day was this vintage Space Jam men's size, large size men's, for $25, and I just made it free shipping for the buyer. I need free ship on the Paul Gray memorial shirt too. This Test Icicles, it's like a punk band. Sold it for $5.99, and they paid for the shipping. I got that for like 50 cents. I thought it was going to sell for a lot more when I bought it, but I realized like, no one's going to really buy this. They don't know who it is, so $5.99. This vintage 90. I also got a Willie Nelson t-shirt. It's from the 90s. I mean, just the quality of the shirt, $20. That was another one that I bought in this t-shirt haul. Another one that I bought in this t-shirt haul was this vintage Glock 17 Perfection. So Glock shirts are really popular if you can find those. $25. This thing looks like it's been to the range a lot. I mean, someone's wore this a lot, and they wore it in, and it's well worn, but I'm sure the person loves having it. I sold Discovery Channel Dirty Jobs. I sold this Texas State Cake Bake Pan for $30. It's from 1969. The Garden Museum, the patent's 1969. It's probably from the 90s sometime. It's never been used. It was super clean. Then I sold this Ohio State University cookbook and this, like, it's called the Big One. It's just a rivalry between OSU and Michigan, Ohio State and Michigan, and sold it for $19. Sold 2 books for that. So it's getting back into like my last big thing that I sold from April the 6th. I'm going back all the way to April 6th. I haven't done a video since April the 6th. That's crazy. So what I sold on April the 6th was this Poochie book. It was $160. That's the last thing, that big item I sold. And you know, April 7th happened. I guess I just stopped doing videos of what I've sold. I've done some other videos about Bible study and some other stuff. But I hope that you've enjoyed my video today about what I've sold, what kinds of things are selling. As you can see, like, I do a lot of books, DVDs, hats, some vintage items. Stay as picky as you can if you're reselling. You know, just be picky. If you can't make $10 on it, probably pass it up. I mean, I think there's enough items out there to do that. if you're really picky, like, my last trip to Goodwill, I bought one item. That was it. I bought a J. Crew pair of women's jeans, new with tags, and those jeans are worth between $50 and $100. Depends on who wants to buy them. So they're in great shape. They're new with tags. They've never been worn. So that's the only thing I bought. And I looked at the whole store. I do glassware. I do housewares. You can see I sell pots and pans. I'll sell anything because in the part of the country that I'm in, you kind of have to be that way. You can't rely on just vintage t-shirts or men's clothes. No, maybe some people can. I just don't have. I would have to source a lot to like specialize. I kind of have to be a jack of all trades. I have to like look for this Hydrotex hat, and I have to I have to look for any kind of vintage thing, artwork, vintage tools, new in the box stuff. I mean, I have to have a wide berth of things that I can look for and understand what I'm buying. But my strong suit are books and art and some vintage clothing, especially t-shirts. I've gotten really good at looking for those things. But sometimes a women's pair of jeans is all you can find that's worth something. There was a few things today that I could have picked up for $5 to $10 profit, but right now I am not into that. I'm really into trying to find a score. If I can find an Elton John ornament for $105, that's what I'm trying to find. And I'm being real picky and looking, and I'll go through and not buy anything. But I have to be able to make, I used to be able if I make $10, I'm okay at the time I'm buying it, like $10. Now it's like, well, maybe I'm at $20, but by the time I sell it, maybe I'm just making $10. I'm not too upset about selling these key fobs and stuff because I have almost no money in them. When you buy 50 or 60 items and you've got 30 cents in each one of them, I mean, you got 30 cents in it. You just have to weigh how much your shipping's going to be, and you make your money. So I'm making $5 to $8 on every single one of those, but man, they're easy to ship. And I've got plenty of other teams, and teams get hot, they don't. People like certain things, and I'll just list them. Whenever NFL rolls back around, I'll list all the hat pins. That'll be my next thing to do, and they're really awesome. But anyway, for me, I have to know a little bit of everything, and I wish I lived in a place where I didn't have to know a little bit of everything. I could just do books, because that would be awesome. Because I'm good at that. I was an English major, and I know books, and I know bindings, and I know that world a little bit better than vintage t-shirts, but I'm having to learn that world, and that's fine. I like learning. So anyway, I have to learn. I have to look at items when I go to a place and go, what kind of value is that? And if it's got high value, boy, I pick it up. Like that Camp David stuff, I knew was going to have value. I just didn't know how much value, until you start trying to sell something. But anyway, I wanted to say thank you for watching my videos. This is running into the 30-minute range, and I wanted to kind of just have something for people that are listening, just to kind of listen and talk, and to listen to somebody talk, and keep them company while they're listening. I do that a lot whenever I'm doing my listing or I'm doing something. I'll just put on another reseller and listen to them, and I hope that you get something out of those things. And I just wanted to say I love you, Jesus loves you, and we're praying for you here in Kentucky.